Hello and good morning. Welcome to another live harp lesson with me, Zuzanna. In case you don't know me, I'm a harpist and harp teacher based in Edinburgh, Scotland, if you're here for the first time. And we will start today's lesson with a few quite important news. The first one is, the chances are that if you're watching me and you are also on Facebook, that you have seen that post in quite a few places. And the reason behind that is that I'm trying to promote these lessons as wide as possible, and they are free materials, they are free tutorials which I create for people who really love the harp, they really love playing and learning to play the harp, but have limited financial resources. And I know many people would rather spend the money to rent the harp or possibly put towards a new instrument, and then there can be little left for the lessons. So this is to help people who are not maybe able to have lessons, private lessons with a harp teacher. You know, it's quite an expensive hobby to play the harp, and that's why I'm trying to promote these lessons as wide as possible to make sure that the message about these lessons reach those people so they can benefit from that. And that's why I try to share them as widely as possible, and you might see them quite a lot. One more thing that I wanted to add to that, you may say that of course that I am promoting some paid products as well, that lessons are not free, that not all of the lesson is free, that there is also an element of paid products being introduced. But this is why, like everyone else, I have to pay the bills, and in order to be able to continue giving my time and creating all those materials, I need to make income somewhere. And all these things are harp related, so it's only for those of you who are interested to play the harp. If you're not interested, then you don't have to watch this, and you, of course, you never have to buy anything to benefit from the content of what I try to teach here, what I try to share, giving my knowledge for free. So just an explanation, and this kind of lengthy introduction is because of a Facebook post that I saw somewhere, people saying that there is too much promotion and advertising on Facebook, and I realized that this can be annoying, but that's why I try to do my best to only reach out to people who might be already interested in what I'm promoting. And of course you don't have to do this if that's not your area of interest, but I hope that you are here because harp and music is something that you love and would like to pursue. So that was the first introduction, first news of the day. The second news of the day, there will be quite a few. It won't make the live much longer because today's topic is a bit shorter, but bear with me for just a few moments. And just to say hello to everyone who came, and thank you for sending the likes and comments. I hope you can hear me alright. I hope that the fact that you're sending the likes and emojis means that you can hear me alright. So thank you for being here and thank you for tuning in. And the second news of the day is that today, this week actually, the gift cards are available to be bought from my shop. So if you would like to give a Christmas present to someone who is into playing the harp, then you can purchase a gift card that will be sent to you via email, and then the person that you would like to be gifted, you can deduct that amount from their purchase. These gift cards are aimed to reduce the costs of the harp course. The next term of the harp course will be on sale very soon in January, and next week I will be sharing with you some more information about trial lessons ahead of the course, and these gift cards can be used to purchase any of that. So for now you can go to the shop, have a look at them. Of course you can buy them, or you can email me if you would need some more explanation. The information about that will be on the website probably today. And the last but not least news of the day is about a great initiative, harp related initiative by my friend and fellow harpist Catherine. If you don't know Catherine, you definitely need to follow her on Instagram or visit her website if you're not on Instagram. Catherine started a wonderful thing, an advent calendar for 2019 with harp-related things being shared every day. I'm still listening to the CD from day one because it was just so lovely. It's playing in my car whenever I drive. So I'll put the link here to the Catherine's website for Facebook. On Instagram, you can just go to my last story and click the post. That's where you will find today's post, where I'm being featured with Catherine, and we were talking a bit about Christmas carols that I've released this year. And the reason why we've done it today is that today in Poland we're celebrating the day of Saint Nicholas, and this is the person that we believe brings the presents in Poland. So today is his day, his holiday, and in Poland you normally give the Christmas presents, like most of the world I think gives presents on morning of the 25th of December. We give the presents in the evening of the 24th. But on the 6th of December, you are usually also sharing small gifts with your family and friends or colleagues at work. Very popular gift is Little Chocolate Santa. Also, Secret Santa game is quite popular around that time. And because of that day, we've decided also to create a small gift for you together with Catherine. And my Christmas carols will be again discounted for this weekend if you use the code STAR 2019. Again, I'll put that in the notes for this live. You are going to get 15% of discount from the carols, and I'll put a link to the carols as well for any of you who haven't seen them just yet. The important piece of information is that this is the very last discount on the carols this Christmas and this year. I know that there was a discount last week as well, and for those of you on my newsletter there was an extra one just for you. This is the very last one, and I'm not planning a big sale of carols after Christmas or in January. They will be sleepily waiting, available of course in the shop, but if you would like to get them at a discounted price, this weekend is the last day to do that. The code will be active until Sunday evening. I'll just quickly have a look at your comments before we dive into today's topic, which will be glissandis. Let me just see. Lisa says, hello Lisa, it's important to support fellow musicians because it's one of the most difficult, if not the most, professions. And I don't think I can see the rest of your comment, or can I see? You give of yourself in the music. Thank you. Sorry Instagram for moving the phone back and forth. Thank you very much Lisa for saying that, and I agree that it is a very difficult profession to just live the lifestyle that it carries with itself. Is quite challenging, but it can be also challenging to make a living as a musician. It's of course a very pleasant profession and very satisfying, but it can be quite challenging. So I'm really glad that you're appreciating that. And I think there is one more comment. It was just Leonardo saying, hello Susanna. Hello Leonardo, and thank you very much for tuning in. As always, you can ask me questions. I always greatly appreciate any of you saying reminding me to slow down, because I realize that I can speak quite fast in these lessons. So if you're watching live, you're more than welcome to say and remind me, please slow down. Okay, let's move on to the topic of today, Glissandi. You can download the PDF with the exercises for this lesson and with the tips from my website. The link is in the Instagram lesson and on Facebook lesson description, and on Instagram you will find it on my website. Again, link in the bio, and then head to resources. If you are already subscribed to my newsletter, then you get the access, and that will be included with your email. If not, you will need to leave your email to get the access to the materials. And about glissandi, so such a simple thing you would have thought. Everyone who approaches the harp can easily put their thumb up and just go like that and enjoy playing the harp. And it might seem to you that there is not much more to talk about. And indeed, today's lesson is maybe not for someone who is just starting out to play the harp. It's more for more advanced harpists who want to make their glissandis even better. But I hope all of you will benefit from that. So there are 3 points that I would like to share with you about the glissandi today. First one is about the glissandi, which are very often used, that go up and down the harp. So something which goes like that, thumb and thumb and second going up. So especially if this type of glissandi is played slowly and quite quietly, it will be quite important that you pay a lot more attention to the turns at the top and at the bottom, so you don't have a gap when you change the direction you're playing. I tried to demonstrate playing with a gap. I hope I can make it. Which is something that happens quite a lot at the beginning when you first start playing the glissando, because of course it takes time to process the fact that you change the finger and change the direction. So the way to practice that is first making sure that when you play the glissando you still have a nice harpy open position, the way everyone is saying to keep your second, third, fourth low and keeping your thumb open. So you can very easily reach out with that second finger on the way down and then reach out with your thumb on the way up and maybe even grab that string on the way. Your position will likely collapse a bit here. Some people teach to do a bit of an 8-note shape, but I find it quite hard. I find it a bit easier to just get closer to the string and then change the direction. And then you're trying to play as many strings as possible on your way up and down. Sometimes it's not possible to play all the strings because you can get to doing that, but if you can't play all of them, at least make sure that you can change the direction as swiftly as possible to avoid the listener missing out if there were any strings that you didn't play. So that would be something like that. And then of course you try to keep the tempo and not slow down too much on the turns, but I think if it happens, it's not such a big deal. It's more important to avoid having this gap at the top or at the bottom when you're changing the direction. We ideally, when facing a big chain of glissandos, we would like to hear them as, what's the name in English, as flowy and continuous, that's the word, as possible. Then the second tips about what happens between the turns. Again, especially with slow glissandis, it's quite important that the listeners can hear all the notes, especially if the composer writes a very specific set of notes and they are after a particular harmony. Like here, I've got some enharmonics, which create this slightly more magical effect. You can hear that some of the notes are repeated, and that makes actually a chord glissando rather than a continuous scale glissando. And here it's quite important that we get to hear all the notes. So when you're practicing your glissando, try to play really slow and listen to all the notes on the way. Try to see if they are all at the same volume or if any of those are sticking out or are being missed out. The way one of my teachers explained that was, imagine the line that you see in the hospital when you've got a heart monitor. I think I'm not a doctor, but I'm just trying to make you imagine that thing that you always see in the movies, where is the line going peak, 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 and you don't want to see that line going overly high or disappearing. That's even worse if it's disappearing. So you just want to imagine that with each note that you're playing, you've got the line getting to the same level of your harp monitor. So going. The first was probably a bit quieter, but I think so far I'm doing quite okay. Yeah, so something like that at this sort of speed. And another exercise, if you are a real glissandi geek, then you can try going for dotted rhythms for glissandis, which is even better. So going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And you can try to make the long notes louder, the quieter notes softer, or you can try to have them all at an even volume. It's more about the control, it's more about how well you can control the speed of your sliding between one note and the other. Yeah, and the last but not least tip, make sure you take care of your fingers, because when we play glissandi we obviously play quite a lot of strings in one go, and even if you've got calluses on the strings, the skin still has its limits. If you just play a lot more strings in your practice than you would normally would, then you're risking getting blisters or other things which are not very nice. And here comes one nice solution, especially for those of you who play with orchestras. Doesn't matter if they are amateur or professional orchestras. In orchestral harp playing we often get lots and lots of glissandis which need to be heard, because that's as I said, one of the most characteristic effects of harp playing. So usually the conductors will encourage you to play more and be heard. And here your skin can get really hurt, painful if you do that too much with your own fingers. So lots of harpists who play with orchestras come up with some accessories to use to play the glissandos. I heard of quite a few harpists using bits of old leather, for example from an old handbag that you're not using anymore, or from an old jacket which you were going to throw away, but you just cut off a little bit and then you use that piece of leather to hold in your fingers and play. If you are short of old leather clothes, or you just don't have time to do this, then you can now buy very easily felt picks. This is one of those. I'll try to show it a bit closer to you. That looks like that. It's about this thickness. How much can that be? Less than 1 centimeter of thickness, I think, and it's quite stiff. You can bend it a little bit, but otherwise it's quite stiff. And then you hold it in your hand, and then you can make quite a loud sound with that. I'll try to demonstrate it first with my finger and then with the felt pick. I think I can play it a bit louder. Let me try again. So that was more or less the volume of my finger, and then yeah. So you can hear that the sound will be very different from your finger. It may not be as soft or as pleasant in tone when you're listening to it just next to your ear. But in the orchestra, this will probably cut through very well, and it's all about the volume and how loud is that. So you can buy those on the website. I'll again put the link in the description. They are called felt picks from... Oh, I don't want to get the name wrong, so I'm just going to put it in the description because I can see the website, but I can't quite remember the title. They come in a pack of 4 and they cost £12 when I checked today, and they are very, very durable. That one is only slightly greyish on the side because it was not living in a nice clear plastic bag in which they come with, but it was living in my harp string bag, so it's just a little bit grey on the sides, but otherwise it's exactly the same as it was when I bought it, and I think they can probably serve you for at least quite a few years. I hope I haven't forgotten about saying anything about the glissandos. Let me know if you have any questions. If question pops to your mind after you've watched this lesson, you can also put the question in the comments or message me directly. I always try to check your replies and answer to any questions that are there. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in here, and next week it might be that we will need to start the live tiny bit earlier because I will need to leave the house with the harp and travel to south of Edinburgh for a wedding on Friday the 13th and therefore I might need to start the live a tiny bit earlier, but I will let you know in advance. I might ask you if you would rather have the lesson starting on the same day or a bit earlier, or would you rather have a lesson the day before. And before I tune out, I'll just quickly check what other comments I can see. Jason says thank you. You're very welcome, Jason. Thank you for watching. Oops, sorry for disturbing the setup here. And Lisa is asking, can one use a felt pick made for ukuleles or not correct size? I have never seen the felt picks for ukulele. I hope I pronounced it correctly. I know what the instrument is, I don't know what's the English pronunciation. I think it just depends how you feel with that. Those picks are quite big, and I think it's just because when you've got them on the music stand in orchestral setting, then sometimes you just need to grab them very quickly, and then it's a bit better if they are quite big. But I've seen harpists using bits of felt which were about half the size of that, so anything that you can quite easily grab with your 3 fingers. I think 3 fingers is quite a good grip. Maybe because they are quite bigger you can actually have 4 fingers on it, but anything which you can comfortably hold in your hand, it doesn't really matter, I think, how big they are. They don't have to be very big because you don't want them to get in the way, but you want them just to be big enough so you can hold them comfortably. So I would just buy one and try if they are not too expensive and just see how you feel with those. I remember using smaller leather picks that I borrowed from someone. Then I bought those and I find them actually quite nice just to hold in my hand. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. You're very welcome, Lisa. Okay, so I'll see you here next week. I will let you know about the start time and the topic closer to the date. Thank you very much again for watching, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye!